Hi guys, I'm here with this dresser today, and it was a dumpster dive dresser. I'm not gonna lie, and it's pretty shabby, and maybe I should have not went through the effort to save it, but I got it anyway. At the very least, this product will be practice on some new techniques, something I haven't done before. So getting right on into it, I am using the new IOD stamp sets, Peony, Chrysanthemum, and the branches. And if they were not, I mean, there's just so much variety in those 3 sets already, but I'm gonna double it. And how I'm gonna do that is I bought a gel press. So what this basically is it's I don't think it was intended for like transferring anything, but I'm going to be using it to transfer my stamp images. What it's typically used for is putting multiple layers of paint and using stencils and things to like make paper art, like for collaging and like card making and stuff. But anytime I hear anything say stencils, I'm like, and stamps, and I just have to find a way to use stamps instead of stencils, because I mean stencils are awesome in their own right, but I'm like a stamp lady, like all in. And so yeah, so I'm going to use this to stamp my stamps on and then transfer them onto my project to give myself a mirror image of the stamp that I am using. When I picked this up, it was filled with like a high gloss brown paint, and I gave it a nice sand down with the intentions of painting the entire thing, and it revealed all these little, these like you could see like, paintings that were underneath. And I actually really enjoyed how the weathering like effect that it with the brown off and grungy and stuff like that, you know. So I went ahead and painted that. If you guys want me to show you how I achieve this look, I'll make that in another video. I have a lot to cover in this one. So gel press. Did not say in the gel press instructions to condition the surface, but us IOD girls know better. Okay, so I conditioned that. Yeah, I think that's the rundown on that. It's business time. I'm gonna put my hair up, put my little paint apron on here, and get a stamping. I am planning on painting on top of all my lines, so I'm not gonna bother masking this, so that will speed this process up a lot. Something that I truly adore about this stamp set, the 3 stamp sets, Peony, branches, and Chrysanthemum, is that the foliage is all the same, but they're all on different scales, so you can really create a lot of like depth. So my first stamp, I'm going to go on the center and not use the jelly presses at all here, but I'm going to putting my ink on, stamping it off on my filing cabinet over here, and then 2nd generation stamp right on here. Now I'm trying to get this symmetrical, but I'm not going to be too fussy if it's not perfectly symmetrical when I go in there with the jelly press. But if I were wanting to be like everything to be super symmetrical, I might want to do a grid on my whole piece so that I could, like, you know, like those drawing, you flip the image things, but you're more easily able to create the copy on the other side. It would be easier to line up on the grid of your piece. Yeah, okay. So put a lot of ink on before you go on your jelly press. I got a backing on the back of my jelly press. It's not as rigid as the IOD plastic sheets, so if you have some of that handy, I would go ahead and cut that to fit size. It would be it would give it more structure for you. Stamping on the jelly pad. Jelly press. And if you like shift on this thing, it like makes a huge mess of your impression. You have to really, it's not forgiving because the jelly press moves around. Like you have your stamp moving, shifting, and you have the jelly press shifting around. So it's like doubling up on the shifting action going on. So I'm gonna approximately find my gram from this angle. Overlap a little bit here. Go up on the dresser. So exciting. A mirror image impression. Can you see from there? Can you see? Can you see that? I don't think you can see it as well as I can. I'm just gonna keep working and hope that as I get more finished, it'll be more clear as to what I am doing here. Oh, and in between every press you do, wipe that down because you don't want to double up on your images that you're transferring.
And what happened to this door?
Mommy's gonna pretty
Why
up.
this in here?
I'm working on it. I think you can see it. Can you see it? To think about it, you could probably get away without buying a gel press if you use the underside of one of the big tile stamps. I mean, it might be even nicer because you're never gonna have a stamp that is larger than that surface. So that might be fun to try. Ooh, so cool. Nice. Where it is not a symmetrical stamp itself, like it's really got a lot of character. I think that when we flip it, you'll really stand out. Clone it. Yeah, this looks like a mess for you guys. I'm just gonna pause the video now, and when I fill in, then you will see everything start to come together, hopefully. Okay, so at the very top center of my piece, I wanted to have a flower that was symmetrical. So I just put ink on half of the stamp, and I stamped it right on my line that I drew. And now I put more ink on my stamp again here, on top where I previously put the ink. Like I didn't make sure to keep the part that I didn't initially put ink on clean. So it's just inked there again. And I'm gonna use the free edge of my jelly press to line that up to just get the ink on that half as well. And press that on the other side of my center point. Here. So I have a totally new flower altogether. Okay, I got a bunch of my lines and I think I'm gonna go ahead and start painting. I might add some more foliage and blossoms as I go. I'm starting to look so messy that I'm scared that I'm gonna lose what I'm supposed to paint on top of and what's supposed to be underneath, like where I didn't mask. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that. And I am not a stockist or I'm not sponsored by any paints, so I don't have a whole variety of colors and a beautiful paint texture like chalk paint or what have you. But what I do have is tons of acrylic, cheap acrylic paint. So I'm going to choose my color palette from there. I'm going to add some calcium carbonate to the paint to give it some more texture and to give it more of a matte finish. Yellow oxide, light portrait pink, burnt umber, something magenta, raw sienna, something crimson hue, and titanium white. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start working on my branches. Okay guys, so I went in with a bunch more layers, and I actually did the same thing I did with this flower where I like divided it in half and then mirror imaged it. I went down and did the same thing here, because if I'm gonna go for symmetry, I'm gonna go for it all the way. Now it's a little messy and unclear, so what I'm gonna go do is go back in with my stamps, which is going to involve a tons of crazy masking. Yeah, it's not going to be fun, but it has to be done. It's going to be gorgeous. So I'm going to use the satisfaction of seeing it have all those details be put back into place as my like momentum to keep going. So here we go. Masking tape.
And how to count to 100.
Keep on going, buddy. Hey guys, before I show you the finished dresser, I wanted to share this painting I did. I used my sunflower stamps and the new molds to make the frame. If you're interested in seeing a video on how I created this, just leave it in the comments. Like if you liked this video, and comment if I'll respond back to you, and consider subscribing if you like my content and watch more of my videos.